There it is.
My internet's lagging. I got too many games going on.
Yeah, I had to. I shut all my stuff off. So yeah,
It's still
probably
going
should have done that because this is probably gonna hurt our quality of show. Hello, this is the best damn Illini postgame show from No One Asked Us. He's Craig. I am Logan. Shout out Mark for the name. Illinois goes to Omaha, wins their first round game over Morehead State. 85-69 is the final. Plenty of things to talk about. Terrence Shannon's first half, Dain Dainja's second half, and Marcus Damask makes NCAA tournament history. Let's just kind of start at the top here. Of course, before we do, like, subscribe, share, get all that stuff. If you're in the chat, if you're off of work and you're watching basketball, let us know what's up. Blake, I already see you're in here. We'll get to your comments here shortly, I'm sure. Yeah, let us know your thoughts because I'm sure people have plenty of them. This is a game that Illinois obviously was expected to win, coming in as the 3 seed over the 14. The first half wasn't pretty. Morehead State, give them credit, man. This is a tough team. Riley Minix is the real deal. They were tough. Hello, Mom. Hello, Lennox. Hello, Craig. Hello, Tim. Hello, Kane. Yeah, this is a tough Morehead State team, and they fought with Illinois in the first half, and then eventually, just about 4 minutes into the second half, Illinois put the throttle on, and it was over. Right off the top, Craig, give me your thoughts. How are you feeling? What do you want to say to the people?
I was never nervous, even at half. Yeah. I don't know why. I think the 3 games in the Big Ten tournament where you're down double digits in the second half really, really calmed my nerves for this team. Everyone saw it. Illinois was the better team in the first half. They went down 9-0. I mean, if you take that away, it's a 10-point game at half. You know, I mean, I know that's not how sports works. You can't really do that. Hypotheticals, Barry Hinson. But
shout out Barry Hinson.
It was just a first half that, you know, I feel like Illinois was just obviously the better team. And I figured there would be a run for Illinois. You'd get it up to 8 or 9 or 10, and then that was the breaking point of the game where either Illinois gets up 10 and gets complacent or they keep pushing. And they kept pushing tonight, got it to, I don't know, what was the largest lead? 22, 23? Something like that?
I don't know. Could have been.
I was just never nervous. Even going into it, I had, I don't know if you texted me, but I had a couple people texting me about how nervous they were, like the nerves were setting in. And I know I texted you right before the game that said, now I'm nervous. I mean, that's only because of what could happen Saturday. I'm nervous for that. Right. But today I was never nervous. I knew Illinois was going to win it. I thought it would be about where the spread ended up, 11-12. So to get it up to a 20-point game and kind of just completely coast for the last 8 minutes was a very good feeling because I meant to look this up before. Let me look it up really quick here. I feel like this is the most dominant NCAA tournament game Illinois has had as far as like blowing their opponent out since 2005. Because obviously Chattanooga was the last first round game Illinois won. That was a nail biter. Drexel, I guess they did pull away 78-49. So that one did turn into a blowout in 2021. I forgot that they pulled away that much, but it was nice to have because the last 5 NCAA tournament games have just been either a very bad feeling or very close.
Yeah.
So it was good.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I don't want to go as far as to say I was nervous. I mean, the first half definitely gave me a sense of uneasiness. But as you alluded to, the way that this team has played in the second half the past week of the season, I mean, I shouldn't have had any sort of doubt just from what we saw in Minneapolis last weekend in the Big Ten tournament. I mean, this is, you know, Illinois was clearly the better team in this game. That's not really a surprise to anything. And they showed it. They ran away with it, and it's crazy to say that, you know, it was, you know, one of the most dominating performances Illinois had in the tournament when they were only up 1 point at halftime to a 14 seed. So Yeah, credit to Morehead State right off the top. This is a tough team. This is a team that obviously won the OVC, and they talked about it in the game. Their preseason all conference player was out all season, and they still put it together. Brought in an NAIA transfer who was phenomenal for them. OVC Player of the Year. This is a tough team, and they gave Illinois everything they could handle for the first 24 minutes or so. But then after that, it was pretty much over.
Remember what I told you I was doing a couple Friday nights ago?
Looking for
He's on my list.
Yeah, looking for figuring out who's going to be the next coach of Southern Illinois University.
Yeah,
you like this guy?
List.
What's his name? Preston something.
Preston Spradlin. He's from Kentucky. Spent some time at UK. After they won the OVC tournament, I can't remember when I put him on the list. Had to have been then. But I texted one of our buddies who's been on the show before. I don't want to give him the satisfaction of giving a name drop here, but I texted one of our buddies.
He won't even watch.
Yeah, yeah. And I sent him the list, and he was on there because as he does, he says he knows everybody. Says that he does. He likes him too. So yeah, he's on my list. I put him on there a couple weeks ago after they won the tournament. He's got some potential. And it's a good jump. OVC to MVC is theoretically that's the way it goes. So yeah.
Let's get into some of the numbers here. Terrence Shannon led Illinois Riley Minix led all scores with 27. Terrence Shannon led Illinois with 26 points. 19 of those came in the first half. Dain Dainja had 21 points, and let's see. I hate what I'm having to look at now because I don't have access to the other scores.
Yeah, I know.
How many points did Dain have in the second half?
Oh, I don't know that we can see that. I'm just looking at ESPN.
Whatever. I'm looking at the official box score thing, but I just have to do a lot of scrolling, and I just don't want to do that. Dain Dainja, 21 points, 8 rebounds for him. Both of those two had phenomenal games. They have phenomenal halves. Let's just say it. Terrence Shannon, phenomenal first half, really carried the team in the first half. Dain Dainja really put the team on his back in the second half. Dain Dainja, the All-American killer, the mid-major killer, mid-major All-American, the midweek starter, as I like to call him.
He's more than a mid-major All-American. He's been playing he's second team All-Big Ten the last couple of weeks.
My point is that if he was at a mid-major, he would be an All-American. But both of those have to take a backseat to Marcus Damask, who only had 4 points up until the 15-minute mark in the second half. But finished with a triple-double. Yeah. A triple-double. Only the 10th triple-double in NCAA tournament history. Is that what they said? The
broadcast said 10th, but CBS Sports tweeted out 9th. So 9th or 10th, one of the two.
Still incredible.
Yeah.
He was looking at a double-double early on, midway through the second half, and he only had 4 points. So Marcus Damask, 12 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. Incredible night for Marcus Damask.
It is the 6th since 2000. The other names on this list,
they read some of them off, but go ahead.
The most recent one was 2019, Ja Morant.
Yep.
Before that, Draymond Green, 2020 and 2012. Draymond Green in 2011. This one, he was a great college player, but he didn't have a pro career. Cole Aldrich from Kansas. And before that, 2003, Dwayne Wade.
Pretty good list.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good list.
Yeah.
And
not only, this is his first postseason. I don't know that SIU ever did I don't think SIU ever made any postseason tournament in his 4 years. I don't think they ever went to a CBI even or CIT. First postseason, not conference tournament to do this. Holy shit.
Yeah. Just an incredible night for Marcus Damask, especially considering, the points came late. And he hit that three towards the end.
They were feeding him late too to get there.
Yeah, they knew exactly what they were doing there. So good for him. But yeah, other than those three, it was pretty quiet other than those three.
Yeah.
Coleman Hawkins, 10 points, 4 rebounds. Luke Goody, 9 points on 3 threes, 4 boards for him. We saw good minutes from Dre Gibbs Lawhorn tonight. You just never know who's gonna step up. You know you can count on Terrence and Damask. You know Coleman's gonna give you consistent points and rebounds. It's just who else shows up. And tonight it was Dain Dainja, who it's been the last several weeks, and Dre Gibbs Lawhorn coming off the bench. 10 minutes for Dre, 6 points, 2 threes, 1 rebound. Really nice minutes for him. No points for Justin Harmon, who didn't do much tonight and has continued to not do much. But that's it.
Has he been
the
passed
scoring
up by Dre?
I think so.
Dre's passed him on the depth chart, I think.
It's possible. And it's crazy how this has happened at the end of the season. But yeah, that's the scoring. Plus minus. I know people like when we talk about that. Damask led the team with no, he didn't. I lied. Luke Goody and Dain Dainja were both plus 27.
I thought Luke played well.
Luke played well today. Marcus Damask 26 and plus minus. Terrence Shannon was 24. Coleman Hawkins 19. Those were the big numbers there. Shooting percentage and such. Illinois shot 54% from the field, 32 for 59. They were 46% from 3, 12 for 26, and 9 for 12 from the free throw line, 75%. Yeah, I mean this was a dominating performance in the second half for Illinois. This is what you'd expect from this team. What you've seen the last few weeks. This is a team that is clicking at the right time. And now we advance on to the second round of the NCAA tournament, and we just look ahead to Saturday. What's going on in the comments? Anybody you want to highlight? Anything you've starred here that you want to focus on?
Yeah, I did, but we're on stats, the one that makes me the most happy, I think, 24 team assists on 32 field goals.
Yeah.
That is something that Illinois,
that's pretty great
for this season. Illinois, if this season, typically, if Illinois makes 32 field goals, they probably have 12, 15 assists on those field goals. Because this team is a bunch of booty ball ISO offense. So for this team to have 24 assists in the first round of the NCAA tournament, that's a good sign. It's a really good sign.
Yeah. No, they're playing well. They're sharing the ball. They're moving the ball. Like, again, it's just different guys step up at different times, and that's what the beauty of how this team is built. As I said, you're going to get. Have we been switched this whole time?
Whole time. 15 minutes in.
You just never know. You just never know who's going to show up for this team, and that's the nice thing about it is they share the ball really well. And my biggest concern in the first half, I just felt like the rebounds were going Morehead's way. And
they were
sometimes I felt like it was effort related. Other times it just happened. But I think that was my biggest takeaway from the first half was I just felt like that battle was changing quite often.
First play of the game.
Yeah, it was like that a lot. Yeah. That was kind of frustrating, but everything else really kind of, corrected itself in the second half. Let's go to the comments.
I flashed it up here earlier, but I wanted to revisit it because I have a thought and I don't think it'll happen. Bootzilla said TSJ's dive on the floor for the ball and bouncing off Morehead State player started the turnaround, which I believe it did. It was a great effort play.
That will be in one shining moment.
That was my take, but I don't think Terrence Shannon Jr. will be in one shining moment.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
As soon as it happened, and as soon as they showed the replay and the broadcasters were talking about it, I was like, that's Illinois' one shining moment, if that's anybody but Terrence Shannon Jr. Yeah, because I don't think he will be in one shining moment because they don't want to risk having him in there and then things not going his way in May.
Yep. So, no, that's probably a good take. What else you got?
Do you want to talk about the Athletic article, or are we just gonna skip past that?
I mean,
I don't want to talk about it.
Joking. I'll say this. I was texting with somebody who follows college basketball, but wasn't totally aware of this situation. Yeah. And I made the comment. I said that the national media has been chomping at the bit to get this story out there again.
Yeah.
Like it happened and it was a story, and then he came back, and then it just kind of fizzled away. And I mentioned it, like they brought it up in the broadcast, and I mentioned it to Allison. I said, we are going to hear this. They're going to bring this up every single game that Illinois plays the rest of this postseason, however long that is, whether that's one more game or whether that's 4 more games. We will hear about it every single game from now until
it's almost like a disclaimer at this point. Like,
yes, it is.
The broadcast is saying he's out there. We know he's out there. We know what's going on. We have to address it, and we're going to move past it.
I read his, I don't want to keep talking on this. I'll just point out that I read the mock draft in the Ringer on their website, and on his report at the bottom in italics was basically like a disclaimer, like as you said, like this is the situation. So whatever.
Yeah. Someone else I read did that too.
Yes.
Fox
hi,
River.
Lennox. I saw Lennox is saying hi to me. I just wanted to say hi again. Go ahead.
Fox the River. Anyone else get pissed off at the broadcasters for saying Illinois has lost in the first round 3 straight years instead of the first weekend? They did correct themselves.
Yeah,
I think late in the game they corrected themselves.
Yeah, I didn't know what they were.
They said it. I was
confused by that. What they were.
They said it off the tip that Illinois has lost in the first round 3 tournaments in a row, and then at the end, I don't know who's the play-by-play.
Tom McCarthy.
Sounds right. At the end, he said, "Sorry, I misspoke earlier in the game. Illinois has made it to the second round 2 of the last 3." So he did correct himself, but yeah. I haven't been starring them, so I'm just scrolling through. A lot of props for Minix, Fox River, and Kai Cresswell all and Michael asking Minix to transfer to Illini. I don't think he's good enough to play at Illinois, if I'm being completely honest. But
no,
Kai said props to Minix too. He's a damn good player. His use of the glass in the first was a work of art. I don't even know if he has any eligibility left because he's a transfer.
I don't think he would, but yeah, no, he's a good player.
But he says he's a senior, so he might not.
He's
have
a good player. I don't think he would do much as far as playing in the Big Ten. But yeah, he's a good player for that level, and he had a really nice season and a really nice game today. So if he had eligibility, I would love to see him try to do that somewhere else. But I don't think this is like a Marcus Damask reincarnated type thing.
Yeah. This was earlier. There's not much going on question-wise in there now, but Blake said Ty, Guerrier, and Harmon all didn't play much today. Goody, Dain, and DGL gave the better minutes by fat. He corrected himself by far. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything to argue there. That Ty had a rough start. He had a couple turnovers. He dropped a wide open pass on a cut that would have given him a layup and went out of bounds. Quincy, I don't know. He's so hit or miss.
Yeah.
He had a great game against Nebraska in the Big Ten tournament. He had back-to-back good games against Purdue and Iowa to close out the season, but he put up an 0 against Ohio State, only 4 rebounds, 6 points, no rebounds, no assists against Wisconsin, no points, 3 rebounds tonight against mid-major. It's you just never know what you're going to get with him, and I hate that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been pretty inconsistent. Again, you just don't know. You don't know who it's going to be. And the one thing I wanted to point out earlier when I was going over the numbers, Dain was 9 for 9 from the field.
Yeah, didn't miss field goal. Yeah,
did not miss a field goal.
And they were
3 for 4 from the free throw line.
It's not like they were all dunks. There was a couple that he was like, I don't know how he spun it.
Yes. I don't know how he did that. Yeah, there was
a couple of them.
Yeah. So yeah, I like Quincy. You just don't know. You just don't know what it's going to be, and I think we've seen that Dain has really emerged as we have a visitor to the podcast. Dain has really kind of emerged as the more dominant, the better post option. Basically, he's not going to start at this point.
Yeah.
They're going to keep the lineups rotation as they are, but Dain's going to be the go-to at this point.
Yeah. Can you Can you believe we're saying that from where he was 3 weeks, a month
I
ago?
mean, when we started this season, I remember after we did the Kansas pre-exhibition game, it was, talked about who was on the floor at the end, and we talked about how it's going to be the experienced guys. It was, we were surprised Justin Harmon was playing as much as he did, and Quincy was out there, and now at this point, it's really, Dain has really emerged again. Dain has been on such a roller coaster ride, his time in Champaign. Sitting out that first year, kind of learning behind Kofi, and then coming in and kind of showing that he can, do some things, has really good footwork. And then we learned he kind of struggles against, better opponents and bigger opponents. And it's been a crazy ride for Dain, but I'm glad that he's seen this success, because this is coming at a very important time.
Yeah, and Kane brings up a good point here. Coleman and Dain were the main lineup together in the second half.
And I think you're going to see more of that.
Yeah, and I mean, going back to early in the season where we were talking like those two can't be on the floor at the same time. They're such two completely opposite style of play from your five.
Yep.
But that's been the best lineup the last 3 weeks.
Well, and I noticed this a couple games ago. I don't think we ever talked about it, and I don't know if we saw it tonight at all, but I don't mind that lineup with Quincy at the three. Like, you're not going to get it in long spurts, but when you can go Damask and TJ, and then you go Quincy, Coleman, and Dain, I mean, you go big lineup. Like, we've seen it a few times at this point now. I like that lineup. I wish we were getting a little bit more consistency from Quincy, but when you can let him kind of play the three, I like that rotation. Again, we don't see it a lot, and I don't know that we will see it much, but yeah, the Dain and Coleman thing, they've played well together.
I don't think this,
because Coleman's a four. Coleman is a four. Like, we've been, he's been playing the five because he's the tallest guy on the court, but like, Coleman is a four. So when you allow him to be able to do that, it definitely frees things up.
This has not been updated to take today's game into account, but the most frequent lineups over the past 5 games from KenPom, Dain is not in the top 2, which kind of surprises me over the last 5 games. Marcus, Ty, Terrence, Quincy, Coleman, which that's the starters. This says 33% of possessions or of the time. Marcus, Justin, Terrence, Luke, Coleman. And then Marcus, Justin, Terrence, Luke, Dain. So the most frequent Coleman, Dain lineups are Marcus, Ty, Terrence, Coleman, Dain, Marcus, Terrence, Luke, Coleman, Dain. Which is kind of surprising that it's that low. But
yeah. Huh. Okay. I wouldn't have thought that.
Jason hopping in here, positionless basketball. That's what this roster was built for. That's and it is being executed to a T right now. And it's also surprisingly why our defense has been so bad, because it is positionless. Like, these guys should be able to guard, except for Dain. These guys can guard anyone. So I don't understand why the defense struggles so much, but when you're scoring 95 points a game,
you're gonna win
games.
That's
you're
my
gonna
thing.
Give up points, but you're gonna win games.
Yeah, like, and that was my tweet right before we started. Like, if you're gonna play Illinois, especially at this point, you have to be prepared to put up 90 points. And I just don't know that many teams are going to be able to do that. Now, the further you get in the tournament, you're going to run into teams that can. But Morehead State was not going to be able to put up 90 points against Illinois. I do not think Duquesne can put up 90 points against Illinois. Like, that's how you beat Illinois.
I don't think Iowa State can put up 90 points.
Well, yeah, and I don't think but their defense is a little different, so that they might be able to keep Illinois down. But like, that's Illinois. That's how they play. And the positionless thing, like, this is what we talked about all year. No point guard, no center, but like, Dain is the center, but like, that's just how they roll. You take the good and the bad with it, and it's a team that was built roster wise for March. And as frustrating as that first half today was, and I was ready to tweet, I hate March. Like, that's what this team was built for. This is built for this exact moment. So, what else? What else do we want to talk about before we kind of get ahead to what's on Tuesday?
We had a comment on here. NDF is the commenter.
What's up, NDF?
apparently, and only saw the score. Seemed like some red flags, but maybe we were actually playing good. I don't know. How would you explain this game to someone who was on a flight and didn't watch it and only saw the halftime score and the final score?
I would explain it as Morehead State was good enough to hang around the first half. But about 5 minutes into the second half, Illinois put their foot down, and there was really nothing to be concerned about after that. Big game from big first half from Terrence, big second half from Dain Dainja, and a triple-double performance from Marcus Damask. I think that's really what happened. I mean, Morehead State, as I said, they're good enough to hang around for 25 minutes, and that's what they did.
Which those are the kind of teams you get in the NCAA tournament.
Right.
Like, look at the Creighton-Akron game was the exact same. Creighton was up 4 at half. They won by 17.
Yeah.
There was another game. Arizona, Long Beach, 2-15 seed. It was like a 5-8 point game at half, and Arizona won by 20 when I had the 19.5. Damn it. But that's what you get. These mid-majors come in all amped up because they're playing against the big boys. They play good for a half or 30 minutes, and then the talent and superior roster.
Yeah, and the depth. Morehead State got 3 points off the bench, I believe.
Fox the River here.
I don't know exactly who their starters were, but they had 2 guys put up 20-plus points, and I believe they got either 2 or 3 points off their bench. So they just don't have the depth. They might have a guy or two that can compete with you, but Illinois has 7 or 8 guys that can put up 15 points. So you just have to be prepared for that. And if you're, Illinois has suspect defense, so really good offensive teams that catch fire can hurt you. But yeah, Morehead State they don't have the depth. They don't have the all around talent. There was just nobody on the court that was going to stop Terrence Shannon. They don't have it. They just don't have it.
I think Duquesne is slightly better, but I would expect a similar situation on Saturday.
Yeah. I don't want to say I was excited when I saw what.
Well, no, I guess we can get into that now. We've talked.
Yeah, let's talk about it. The game. Illinois will now play Saturday. Time is still TBD. But their opponent is the first upset of the tournament, Duquesne, out of the A10, who beat BYU. They pretty much controlled that entire game. I think BYU at one point late.
I think they tied it.
Or tied it at least.
One of the
Duquesne
two.
won that game 71-67. So the 11 seed, who was a bid stealer in their own conference, made it out of the first round. Beat a good, analytically very good BYU team.
Yeah.
Who, a lot of Illinois fans were already starting to. I could already start to hear some of the, we got screwed in the seeding situation. I've been waiting for it. Because I don't think it would have been wrong. I'm just going to say.
No, that's a fair point.
This is
when you see the 17 overall team as a 6, whoever was the 3 got screwed. But
don't have to worry about it. Don't have to worry about it. This is a Duquesne team that's going to have some added juice with their head coach retiring, and so there's some stuff there. So it's a decent enough team. They made the tournament, but I agree with you. I don't think. Just, keeping an eye on that game, I just don't see there being enough guys there to top Illinois. It's not that Illinois can't have a bad game and lose. That is certainly on the table.
Yeah.
But we just seen it. Illinois has 8 or 9 guys that can hurt you, and you have to come prepared for it. So, but yeah, that is Saturday. We do not know what time.
It'll be one of the first 2 or 3 games.
Probably, yes.
It'll be super early because today's games were early, and it's an underdog.
Yes.
They'll have the games late that are like the 4 or 5 games, or the actual 3-6 games, or the games that are not including a upset.
Yes, you're probably right. So yeah, that is Saturday, and if you win that, you go to your first Sweet 16 in 1,000 years. So, I'm not going to say a lot's on the line, but some things are on the line.
And like I said, I texted you earlier. I'm almost more nervous now than had BYU won.
Yeah.
Because if we lose this one, it's inexcusable.
Yeah, there's no excuse now.
Losing to BYU would have been like, okay, they're a top 20 team. Like, okay, that's fine. But losing to Duquesne is going to hurt if that happens.
Yeah. Let's just
not think about that.
My favorite thing, be the better team. Just be the better team. Because
I don't want to get on this train. When was the last time Illinois had a bad game? Illinois hasn't.
They haven't had it in a long time.
And I'm looking at the schedule.
Penn State.
I wouldn't even call. They put up 90. That wasn't even a bad. That was a bad minute.
I didn't even watch that game, so I don't even know what happened.
They played great except for the last minute. Like, I think the last bad game was at Maryland, or no, the home game against Maryland in January, 2 months ago.
That's fair. Yeah, be the better team. That's all it comes down to. Be the better team, and you come out of Saturday fairly easily. I would say. What else? Anything else in the chat? I don't know, honestly. I didn't really look at it much during that game.
The Big Ten is 2-0.
That's true. Sparty won. Yeah, we could do that. Let's go over some of the other scores from today already. Sparty won the first game of the day, 69-51 over Mississippi State. We talked about Duquesne beating BYU, Creighton over Akron, you mentioned. Arizona blew out Long Beach State. North Carolina blew out Wagner. And then Illinois, obviously.
You know what we have now? We have the Dana Altman Bowl.
Creighton,
Oregon.
Okay.
Oregon just beat South Carolina.
I'm not even.
14.
I should probably be looking at a bracket, but I'm not.
87-63.
There's only one game going on right now. I guess this is the end of the first session.
Next one starts in 30 minutes.
So Nevada is up pretty big on Dayton as we speak, 56-39. So that would be an upset if the 10 beats the 7 there. And then, a whole host of games that start up at 7 o'clock tonight here in about 40 minutes. So, my bracket, I don't know. Let's see. How is my bracket doing? Pretty sure I had BYU winning.
Many. Well, yeah, I had that in every one, I think.
I have all three of mine are 90%. So, for what it's worth. Yeah. I did 3 on ESPN. I have Tennessee winning 1. I have Illinois winning 1, and I have Creighton winning 1. Which of those 3 do you think is most likely?
Creighton.
Yeah. Creighton, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They've been there.
Tennessee.
I wanted to pick Tennessee, but Rick Barnes has yet to prove he can win in March, and he's been in the game for 25 years.
That's a good point.
I do have Creighton to the Final Four in one of mine.
So your reaction,
analytically speaking, there are only 3 teams that can win the tournament this year.
So your reaction tells me that I didn't do very well at making my brackets this year. Is that what you're
picking the winner?
Okay, that's fair. Now, to be honest, I'm just now really looking at this for the first time in a couple days because I'd filled these out, and I probably should have included like a UConn bracket or something. Probably that probably would have been smart of me. At least one of my 3 with UConn winning it all, but whatever.
I saw a stat, and I kind of knew this. I didn't know how far back it went, but I think going all the way back to like the last 20 years, maybe the national champion, except for once, has been top 3 in KenPom end of season, and the one time that it wasn't was Shabazz Napier UConn year, I think. So UConn, Houston, Purdue analytically are the 3 teams that one of the 3 will probably win it.
My thing with the bracket stuff is that I could have picked UConn to win the whole thing, but there's going to be 20 brackets that have UConn winning. So at
I
that point,
thought
then
the
you
same
have to
thing.
get more right. Like,
I thought the same
sure,
thing.
my chances of Creighton, Tennessee, or Illinois winning the title are much smaller.
But if they do,
if
one of the other gets upset, you have
correct.
just as big of a
I'm,
chance. Yeah, playing the odds.
I'm putting myself in a bit. Whatever. It's all for fun. I've already wasted all sorts of money.
Can you elaborate on this, Paul? I don't know what three brackets.
Good three brackets. Good grief. I
don't know what
are
that
you
means.
Paul? Are you saying that three's too many? Because Craig's probably filled out 1,000. So how many have you filled out, Craig? I filled out 5.
I
have
out
filled
5.
out 5.
I
3
filled
on
out 5.
ESPN, 2 on CBS.
But the one that I enter the same in all of my pools. I'm in 5 different pools. One of mine is the same in all of them. That is my one bracket. If I'm referencing my bracket, that is my one bracket. But I did fill out multiple because you're allowed to.
Why not? That's the fun of it.
It's the best part of the tournament.
Yeah, there are plenty of people, Paul, that only fill out one bracket. I totally get it.
Sheet of integrity. Yeah, I get it.
I just like filling out multiple brackets.
Yeah,
I
had trouble this year. I didn't fill. Normally, I fill one out like Monday because the first 4 games, like who cares? But even up to last night, I was like, I don't know how to do this, because every time I filled out a bracket, I don't know if you looked at the one I tweeted out. It's so chalk. Like my Elite 8 is all 4 of my Elite 8s are 1-2 or 1-4 or 1-2 or 1-3. And that's just not going to happen. But I just feel like this year it's so top heavy.
It could
because the bubble. Like there were so many bids stolen from these teams that shouldn't be in the tournament. I feel like the lower seeds just aren't as normally are.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
prove
fair.
me wrong, I guess. But my bracket 1 is just so chalky that I'm not going to win anything.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see it being pretty chalky this year, but that's the fun of it. That's the beauty of March.
Yeah.
You just never know. All right. Any final thoughts from you or the chat, Craig?
No.
Nothing?
I got nothing. I mean, just take care of business Saturday. You're the better team. You are the higher seed. You're the better team. You're playing better than them. I don't know what Cindy's talking about here. We've been singing Dain's praises for a month. I mean he's been the second best, third best player on the team. I don't know what else you want us to say.
I think the only thing we've said about Dain is that he doesn't fit in the type of style that Brad really wants to play, and he doesn't match up with all that and that's why he wasn't playing at moments. Like he also struggled to catch the ball. Like there were just moments where he just wasn't good enough to be on the court. But like that's changed. The last few weeks, things have just gotten progressively better with Dain. So, I mean, if I said anything offensive towards Dain Dainja, I truly apologize. But like honestly, like I don't know that we have. We're just saying the truth. Like he just wasn't at times wasn't good enough to be on the court. And that just goes back to not only Brad Underwood, but just coaching college basketball in general. Like you build a team of 8 or 9 guys and it's going to be a different guy every night. Like, yeah. Yes, you're going to have your Terrence Shannons, your Iota Sumos, your Kofi Coburns, your Marcus Damask, your guys you can rely on night in and night out. But you go 8 or 9 deep for a reason. There are some games where Quincy Guerrier is going to play too well that you can't take him off the court. So then how does Dain going to play? There are some games where you can't take, or Ty Rogers off the court. Like that's just how it works. Like if guys are the hot hand, you just ride them. And you're only going to play 2 post players at once. So there were times where Quincy Guerrier was playing too well to take off the court, but that didn't happen as much down the stretch. So, all right, I think we can shut it down. You ready? You ready to shut it down?
Yeah, I'm just reading this last comment. Living in Kentucky, great bragging rights over the 2 Morehead State alumni that I know.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. I'd learned Morehead State was in Kentucky 2 days ago. So, all right, yeah. Let's shut it down. Let's go watch the rest of the night games.
Yes.
Yes. We'll be back on Saturday. I'm assuming Logan, you are free Saturday.
I will be here.
Yeah. No matter the game time, we'll be live for another post game show. Hopefully, it's not our last, but yeah, we'll be back Thursday.
Yeah, we will be back Saturday. You said Thursday.
Saturday. Today's Thursday.
Today is Thursday. We will be back Saturday. Time, obviously, you all will learn tonight as we do as well. Final from Omaha, 85-69. Illinois advances to the second round, playing Duquesne, the Dukes, on Saturday. For Craig, I'm Logan. We will see you guys next time. Until then, ILL.